Tell us a little bit about, a lot of us are entrepreneurs. We have mission, goal, and dreams. Looks like you broke a lot of barriers and you reached your goal, getting 2 stars and then 2 restaurants that are so distinctive that it wasn't easy, right? So tell us a little bit about your journey, how you kept on track and how you inspired yourself, kept going.
No, with Campton Place, it was a good base for me. It was now if I look back and see a lot of style and less substance, because for me, I don't mean the cuisine, because a lot of style, fame, and all those things. Where am I going to make this money thing? You just can't work for this thing. It doesn't work that way. So I spent almost 10 years, and I thought 10 years, just going to be an employee here, which I did not want to be. Because I had my own this thing set. So I was doing really well, enjoying what I was doing, very passionate about what I was doing, coached a nice team is ready, and execution was happening like without flawless execution. We were doing our numbers and all those things. At that point I thought I want to do something on my own. So 2010. So, no, it's 2011, 12 after the Michelin-starred. Almost at that point I thought, okay, mission accomplished, we got a star. so now, it's the kind of thing. I did not have any hope for a second star and all those things, even though we kept trying and all those things. So, to answer your question, I had this whole thing. I wrote myself a little note, which in my office, where nobody could read that. It's behind a pillar, which said, what is it called? If you don't do it for yourself, somebody will have you do it for them, kind of a note. You know what I mean? So that was the thing I said myself, okay, I need to just build my own something. So I was just on this mission of doing something. A lot of people came. It's a very normal thing when you see somebody who's doing okay. In Bay Area, people have a lot of money. I mean, there's no shortage for money here, especially with Indians. So almost on a daily basis, I used to get calls and people, hey, we need to do something together. So people actually think doing together, making a restaurant is like almost like an overnight thing. It's a lot of work. Actually, it's a lot of work. It's a ridiculous amount of work. All I'm trying to say is, if you have some money in your hand, if you're not passionate about it, don't do it. Just don't do it. Because you're wasting your time and the guy who's actually putting all the passion in it also. It's two things you're wasting. So similarly, I got a lot of people who came to me and said, we should do that, we should do that, we should do this, we should do that. I kept listening to this. I always had this thing where an art of ignoring stuff. Like I'm really good at that. I can really ignore things. So I kept listening to it and kept ignoring it because I was waiting for that right person kind of a thing. So I'll tell you a secret today, but I don't think many people know. Early 2013, I had some money which I had saved up, like almost like $250,000. So full details, okay? And I just wanted to I wanted to do something with this. So I was thinking, I need to open something of my own. And that's when a friend of mine then, another person who actually has had this whole thing of, let's do this kind of a thing. He was also the same way, let's do this. So, but the only difference in that guy was, he already had something he was running. I said, okay, let's do it. So this is when in 2013, I opened a restaurant called Rasa in Burlingame. Yes. And nobody knows it's mine.
Now we know.
Because, now I can tell it, because at that point I was actually working with Taj. So I was on an L1 visa. So while on L1, you're not supposed to do it. Okay? I had it on my wife's name and this whole thing happened. So it's so funny that even though I didn't put my name on, 2014 October we opened it, 2015 October we got 1 star for that also.
Oh, you did? Wow. So you have the magic touch.
No, on the same year we got 2 stars for Campton Place.
Okay.
So this was never asked for. I myself was shocked. I said, what the hell is happening? So a couple of people even they started talking to each other, saying that this guy has somebody in the Michelin thing. He's got some jugaad. This guy has a jugaad there. You know what I mean? Some jugaad is happening.
You had a
So
touch, huh?
I didn't do anything. Yeah, I really hired some good people. So, anyways, there's a famous chef in San Francisco. I won't name the guy. He actually sent his director for catering, to ask my director for catering at that point, to ask, who's that guy, that contact you have? Because he also wants a couple of stars.
Now, looks like this is a whole journey, right? I mean, which part of the journey are you in now? What is your final mission with the new 2 restaurants that you have? You've had an incredible journey so far. So, which part of the journey are you now? Almost like, oh, this is it. I am done. I got 2 Michelin stars for Frampton and I got these restaurants. Where are you taking your journey to?
Okay, before I answer the question, I don't anymore own Rasa. Like, I don't have Rasa anymore. I sold it. So my partner, when I did my new company with Etan and Copra and all those things, we have some work. So I'm no longer with that company. So FYI. So that happened. So answer your question. I think there's a lot you can do for the cuisine. In turn, of course, I'll also make some, what is it called, money out of it, to be like, put it very honestly. So that's a different story. But the thing is, there's a lot left to do for Indian food in America. You know what I mean? Indian food. If you're somebody who goes to London, look at the Indian food situation in London. It's like almost better than India. You know, they have some restaurants.
Even New York has great food.
You know, getting there, but nowhere close to London. It's nowhere close to London. I'm one of those examples of, you don't need to be that rich to dine out so much. Every opportunity I get, I go dine out. So I know London very well. I know New York, what happens in New York. So it's actually nowhere close to London. It's very far from that. So going back to your question about doing, have you seen a good QSR concept of Indian food? I have not yet. What is QSR? Is a quick service, like an equivalent to a good, like where you can actually go grab a nice lunch and walk away, or maybe stand there and eat. Not yet. So that's another thing which Indian food cuisine should have. We have not seen also the finest of fine dinings of Indian food. Also, it should have everything. Like, it's not like just have Indian food. You can have a real fine dining restaurant, like super good fine, where a lot of research goes into it. It's like a temple of Indian food dining. Indian cuisine. It's none of those things. Like, it's not there. It's just not there.
We are going to take questions from everybody here, but before I open the floor, I have one question for you. What are some of the difficulties running a restaurant business?
Oh my God. Difficulties, there are different layers of difficulties, right? One is making sure you have the right product in the market. You can never make a product for all of you. It's just impossible. Like, for example, anybody who's cooked, I want you guys to think about this when you write reviews about a restaurant. Give me 1 second, 1 minute. If you've ever cooked at a joint family with more than 5 adults, tell me, if you're cooking 10 days, give me 1 day where all 6 of them are happy with what you made. No way. You are never going to satisfy everyone. Because it's not because you're a bad cook. Because food is subjective. Because you have moods, like in a good mood you feel that bad food is amazing. But in a bad mood, a good food could be bad. That's subjective. That's exactly when you think about it when you write the next Yelp review. Because I've seen people destroying restaurants. I've been very fortunate, even though some people bitch about me a little bit, but here and there. But at the same time, I've been very fortunate that way. But there are some people who actually go brutal on people. Think about it. Food is subjective. You did not like does not mean the food is that bad. Yeah, there could be really bad food also. I understand that. There's a little, come on.
I am saying, imagine we cook once in a while. You have to do that every single day keep the quality the same. Everyone has to be happy eating that same food. That's a lot of work, I feel.
See, that's where the process comes into place. At home, you don't have a process. You may be the most organized person, you don't have a process. Because I see my wife all the time. She can't get that fish curry second time at all. I can't. So I make fun of her all the time because there is a temple back home which the festival comes once in 12 years. What's that called? Kumbh Mela, right? Kumbh Mela. So when she makes a good fish curry, I said, now you got to wait for that 12th year. Because it happens all the time. The reason is she does not want to record that in her brains. She just wants to go do that on the go. Like, dun, 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 dun. And finally, sometimes it's amazing. Next 12 times, it's not amazing. So to answer your question, process. I mean, that's where the process comes into place. You have the recipe recording, you have the softwares, somebody who's checking it, somebody who's making it, then somebody who's tasting it again, then it comes, finally I tasted, like so much thing goes up. Even after that, it goes wrong. It's food, it just happens. Temperature can change things sometimes. Reheating can change things. Ingredients can change things. Seasons can change things. Because yesterday, what was that? Oh yeah, yesterday I was just doing for a robotic company called Cloud Chef. I was actually doing a recording recipe for them. I made this dish which I've made 200 times in my life. But after making it, it wasn't spicy enough. I kept adding chili into it because the chili wasn't spicy. It's not my mistake, but it's eventually the food is not spicy enough because the chili they gave me was not spicy at all. Every season it changes because during summer the chili get a little sweeter. During winter, the chili get a little harsh. It happens. So knowing those, so all those things can change. So much changes can happen.